Okay, I finally watched Knock at the Cabin. The reason that it took me so long to watch this movie is because I actually wanted to read the book first, The Cabin at the End of the World by Paul Tremblay. And I'm actually really glad that I did it that way. So this is going to be a review on the movie versus the book, kind of, and it's also definitely going to have spoilers on both. So if you don't want that, bye. I liked the movie. Let me start off by saying that. However, I am very surprised at how predictable this movie is, considering it is an M. Night Shyamalan movie. Because if you know anything about M. Night Shyamalan, you know that he is the king of twists. Some of the greatest plot twists in cinematic history have come from this man. So this adaptation was completely accurate to the source material up until about the middle of the movie. So I was expecting it to go a certain direction because of how the book ended, and then it went a completely different direction, but I still was able to predict exactly what was going to happen. I think all the actors in this movie really had great performances, especially the four of them. I really like how in this they explain how they are the four horsemen of the apocalypse. So you have malice, nurturing, healing, and guidance. So I like how they kind of explained that and tied that together. But yeah, I feel like starting midway through this movie, I knew that Eric was going to be the one to sacrifice himself and make Andrew shoot him. But let me explain to you how the book goes so you know why I kind of have an issue with this. So in the book, there is that struggle between Leonard and Andrew over the gun. But during the struggle, the gun goes off and shoots Wen. And she dies in Eric and Andrew's arms. And it is the most fucking devastating thing I've ever read. I was like almost in tears reading it. Basically because it wasn't a choice to shoot her, like her sacrifice means nothing, so it doesn't even save the world. But the other reason I really like the book is because the ending is very ambiguous. So it ends with Eric and Andrew still alive, deciding not to kill the other and kind of like wandering off, and we go on. But the reason that I like that and I say it's ambiguous is because we never know if the four of them are right. It never explains if the world ends and if they're the only two to go on. So it's open to interpretation. You can interpret that they live together and the world does end. Or you can interpret it to be that the four of them were just crazy and the world doesn't end and this was all for nothing. I initially honestly didn't like that ending, but after reflecting on it for a couple days, I do really like how it was done. The ending of the movie was very straightforward and it was almost happy. Obviously, it wasn't completely happy because Eric is dead. But the ending of the book, that final act, just tore me to pieces. Whereas the movie, I was like, oh great, they stopped the apocalypse, everybody lives happily ever after, whatever. So again, it's not that I disliked the movie. I do just wish that it went in the direction, again, with Wen's death, just because of how, like, shocking and bleak that was. And I think it really would have stunned everyone and stayed true to that whole unpredictable M. Night Shyamalan theme. Overall, I'd probably give this movie a 6 out of 10, whereas I give the book, like, an 8.5 out of 10. Not the best M. Night Shyamalan movie, but definitely not the worst.